Hyperlaser has been a character I wanted to try many times, but ultimately failed a lot. Months later, I decided to revisit Hyperlaser after he got a few changes and such to his kit and whatnot. After playing a lot of games with him, I wanted to talk about Hyperlaser, what I liked and disliked about him as a character, and overall if I want to continue playing him or not. With that said, let's do a small overview on Hyperlaser and his moves first. Hyperlaser has 75 HP and 100 shield, making him seem too bulky for a ranged fighter, but we'll talk about that later. His moveset is also absolutely amazing, as his passive, Locked and Loaded, allows Hyperlaser to hit headshots, which doubles the damage of his M1 Hyper Ray. By hitting heads, Hyperlaser could go from 20 damage on a body shot to a whopping 40 damage on a headshot, allowing for crazy damage potential. His M2, Pierce Ray, is great for doing good burst damage thanks to the 2 rays that pop out and the fact they could go through boombox shields, which makes it very threatening to face against. Hyperlaser's Q, Voltaic Grenade, works as a mobility tool for allies and yourself, or works as a way to get enemies off of you or wireframe them. Wireframe is a state in which you can move freely but cannot use any attacks. It's like stun, but you can actually move. If you land the Q directly, it does 30 damage and causes an explosion effect. However, hitting this direct Q is a pain to do from long ranges. Hyperlaser's E, Voltaic Shift, allows him to go to many different spots on the map. He winds up and then teleports to whatever you're pointing at from a limited range. Getting hit, however, causes an explosion around you and cancels the teleport, which is good for getting close range attackers off of you even further and makes your next shot instant. However, the ability only teleports you onto flat grounds, which makes it very limited on spots you can get to, but some spots on large open maps and conquer maps are amazing with this skill. Finally, Hyperlaser's finisher is Eviscerating Ray, which fires a shot after a long windup that can one-shot anything. If you hit the shot, you get to fire another shot until you fired a total of 3 shots or you missed one of them. Also, hitting a boombox shield gives you another free shot, so don't worry if you accidentally hit that, especially after the long windup and the loud as hell sound it emits. Okay, after going through all of that kit nonsense, let's go into what I like about Hyperlaser. Now, obviously, Hyperlaser's kit is fantastic for long range. Being able to hit 40 damage headshots thanks to his passive is amazing and has some of the highest damage output in the game. His M2 also gives high burst damage and is able to secure kills even due to the second ray it fires. His Q arc is also pretty generous, as the grenade can just fly through the air and onto faraway opponents, allowing you to wireframe anyone from almost anywhere. And while I never cared for the speed boost on allies, I found myself using the speed boost for my escape from people, since Hyperlaser is naturally a slow fighter to play as. His E was also very nice to use for mobility, as it allowed me to switch my positions and get on the conquer point when the time was almost up, hopefully helping to secure a win or go into overtime because of it. The instant shot is also cool, but I almost always miss it because I panic every time. As for using it against close range enemies, I was only able to use it against some skate player trying to kill me on SFOF and knocked them off, which led him to be mad, and I don't have footage of it unfortunately. As for Hyperlaser's finisher, I cannot land all 3 shots almost at all. I can land 1 or 2 at times, but the max 3 just never happens, as I usually try to hard read people or just be slightly off in my aim. However, I love the dopamine boost I get when I hit a shot after that loud windup. It makes me feel so awesome right after. Also, this is more of a map thing, but on big open maps, Hyperlaser feels somewhat relaxing to play at times. You basically get to a high point of the map and start sniping and picking off people one by one. You basically get to do whatever you want outside the action, and it makes you a huge asset to your team, a powerful one at that. Alright, now that we got those simple things out of the way, let's go straight into the things I disliked about playing Hyperlaser. So far, all of these things sound fun, and Hyperlaser sounds incredible on paper, since he could simply position himself away and run when he's being closed in on. Oh, if it was that simple, because he has some problems I encounter. All of his M1 shots have a slight cooldown to them when fired, which means you have to either track your opponent a bit or be some flick god that plays shooter games a lot. Since I cannot flick, I usually track, which means I miss a good amount of my shots either because my sensitivity was a bit too high or simply just can't aim at anyone. This is a huge problem for every Hyperlaser because it's not as simple as using rocket splash damage as a crutch, or a hit scan projectile like Slingshot, or a very fast projectile like Shuriken. You are forced to get used to the cooldown to be even of use to the team. Hyperlaser also feels incredibly sluggish to play as well, since doing a shot halts any momentum you ever had. This is fine for aiming shots better, but when you need to move out of the way, the slow lasts for so long that you practically have no time to react to anything coming your way because the game just won't let you. Now, all of these sound bad, but surely Hyperlaser won't have more problems that are linked specifically because of the nature of the game, right? Right? God damn it just keeps on happening, doesn't it? If someone closes in on you, you will almost always fail. While Hyperlaser can win almost every matchup from a long range, any fighter that can close in on Hyperlaser will almost always shred him to pieces. Yeah, some fighters can't catch up due to limited damage output like Subspace, or simply unable to catch him like Katana, but the majority like Shuriken and Biograph outright win almost every time against Hyperlaser. Unless the person playing is constantly messing up or the Hyperlaser somehow outplays the counter, you are almost always in a losing state and practically become unable to play Hyperlaser's main traits at all. It gets better when you realize that if you stay to fight the counter, trying to shoot slows you to a crawl, which makes you so much easier to hit in every conceivable way. Even other Hyperlaser finishers can hit you in the span of time with its stupid as hell hitbox. Now, you could also run the teammates, but that'll not only make you get targeted more, but those areas where your teammates are at usually have more enemies that could body you. So just don't get targeted then, right? If only it was simple. From playing Hyperlaser, there is a high chance you'll get targeted because you do high damage, or you're an easy kill to add to Annihilate scores because you cannot kill that one random Biograph who loves using Q on you, or the Slingshot who double jumps all the time to throw your aim off, or that Shuriken just buddy hops for his life against you. I cannot stress how bad targeting feels in this game. It fills me up with so much rage that it kills me on the inside as to why I play this damned character. And you know what? That's why Hyperlaser is such a weird fighter to play. So good, yet so easy to play around as you do high outputs of damage, yet one rushdown by a Biograph can spell the end for you. I could have games where I land a lot of shots and stay safe away from all the enemies, and games where I am struggling to land any shots and have a Slingshot tracking me down with some invisible radar. He is simply a fighter that can't be too good at all, but yet can't be too bad. It's balanced by an extreme positive and negative of the fighter that you cannot change unless you rework his entire kit. Will I still continue to play Hyperlaser and try to make my tracking even better, however? You know what? Hell yeah! When I actually get to play the game, Hyperlaser is fun as hell, and hitting shots gives me a complete wave of joy. On the other hand, getting targeted constantly for trying to play the game is annoying and infuriating at times. And missing shots that could even cost a game is a hard feeling to take in every time. Sometimes going through pain is a part of a fighter you have to take, unfortunately. Honestly, Hyperlaser has been one hell of an experience compared to any other fighter I tried thus far. That's why I think Hyperlaser is a very odd character in fighting. Thanks for watching.